Are you interested in minimizing financial stress and maximizing financial hope? If so, stick around. Hey, I am Tim Kiser, and this is the Profit Dare. Thank you so much for stopping by today. And on this channel, we provide simple financial strategies to help people maximize financial hope and minimize stress. Today, I'm going to cover 10 of those strategies. We're not going to go into detail. We're just going to give you a 30,000 feet view of each one, and we will go into greater detail on a different video. So number one is to personalize your financial dream. It's too common for people to be in financial stress, and then what they'll do is they'll connect with somebody to help them, and they will give them a cookie cutter financial plan or path. And those work for some people, they really do, but not for everyone. And so if you've been in one of those cookie cutter plans before, you know what I mean. And it's important for us to actually determine our own values, our own hopes, our own dreams, our own goals, and move forward with those because, we all have a different path. We're going to get to the same point eventually, but on the way there's a lot of things that are important to me that may not be important to you and vice versa. And if I superimpose my dreams and hopes upon you, you're just fulfilling my dream, and you're going to get halfway down the road and think, this is nuts. I think this guy's crazy. I'd rather do this than that. And then you're stuck. So it's important to personalize your financial dream. Number two is to actually realize and memorialize your true financial position. Let me ask you a question. Do you know if your family was financially profitable last year? Were you? Do you happen to know if you are what your personal financial net worth is? Do you know your credit score? When's the last time you pulled up a statement from the Social Security Administration to see if you're on track? Have you looked at a credit report lately? Do you get them and make sure there's no kind of nefarious or funky stuff on your credit report? It's important for us to actually track it, and I recommend tracking it annually, and you can see the progress that's being made. Number three, the third strategy is to optimize your take-home pay. It's important that we actually earn more money than we spend. It really is. That's a lot more positive than saying live below your means, which is legit too. But sometimes we just need to make more money. Sometimes our bills are at a point where we're like, I don't know what happened. I'm here. I have all these bills and I can't make it. Well, sometimes you got to ramp it up and optimize your take-home pay. And we can help you with that, right? I have a ton of ideas and strategies that have worked for me over the years. I've been doing this a long time, and it's important, and it's not easy. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not easy. When you start doubling your pay, it gets challenging, and the higher you go, the tougher it gets, the more is required of you. Big companies or any companies don't just hand out six-figure salaries like swag at a trade show, right? So, but number three is to optimize your take-home pay. Four is to scrutinize your spending. We can only cut spending so much though. And cutting spending can create a chaos in a family. The kids can vote you out of office if you're going nuts and you're trying to cut their Disney Plus or whatever. So it's important when we scrutinize spending, we do it in a really thoughtful manner, and we do it at a really good pace so the family's on board, and we can show you some ways to do that to keep everyone on the same pace, to make it funner than it can possibly be, because it's still going to be challenging, but it's very important to scrutinize spending. Number five is to normalize savings. Savings is not a normal thing in our country. We have a lot of people have more debt than they do credit card debt than they do emergency funds. Few people in our country, I think less than half of the people in the country, can actually afford a $1,000 emergency and pay for it with their savings. But savings is important. It really is important. If for business owners, they must replace capital equipment on a regular basis. And when you do that, you have to plan ahead and create sinking funds. And we will help you every step of the way develop sinking funds and to find a way to actually normalize saving for your family. Number 6 is downsize debt. Contrary to popular belief, debt is not dumb. It's not. Debt can be risky. Debt is risky. Debt can be dangerous in certain situations, but it's not necessarily dumb. Businesses use debt all the time. I know many people who have created a great income for themselves by borrowing money to get a mortgage, and then they go into the rental business for duplexes or condos or even houses. It's possible, but it has to be very structured. It has to be really strong. You know exactly what you're getting into, but you want to downsize debt. And what the debt we want to downsize primarily is going to be things like consumer debt, credit card debt. You should not be spending money. I rarely will tell you exactly what to do, but I'm just telling you right now, I've been around a while. Spending money on sushi and sake and paying for it for 3 or 4 months is not the best financial plan. Number 7 is to right-size risk. This is the one people hate the most. It really is. And you might have, like in a business organization, you have a chief financial officer, you have a chief executive officer, the chief sales or revenue officer, chief marketing officer, but then you have the chief risk officer. And that's the person that most people don't like because they're always thinking about what could go wrong. Guess what? Sometimes we had to put that hat on, the chief risk officer hat for our family, and say, are we prepared for a crazy situation? What if I lost my job for a month? Could we survive? What if our house gets hit with a hailstorm? What if our HVAC system, our furnace needs to be replaced? What if? These are times we actually think through these things, and we can actually eliminate the risk, take the risk, transfer the risk, or just minimize the risk. But we have to actually right-size the risk in our families, right? Number 8, prioritize your financial future. Your future self will appreciate that if you do. Time can't be replaced. Once time is gone, we lose it forever. And it's important that we actually pay ourselves first, our future self, and invest in our future. That can be through stocks and bonds, that can be through real estate, can be through a multitude of ways, but you gotta do it. Just talking about it is not gonna make it work. Being fearful about it's not gonna actually help you. There will be a day when we won't be able to work and create income for ourselves, and we must have something set aside. And the stats are pretty crazy about what people have saved, And yes, some of us will have Social Security, whether it's gonna be there 50 years from now, I don't know. But that's not going to be a lot for most people. So it's important that we prioritize our financial future. For every dollar we earn and we have expenses and hopefully a profit from that, we have to use some of that money for our future because there is going to be a day when we can't work and we'll need some cash, right? Number 9, radicalize generosity. I am a big proponent of radical generosity. I think if it's really good for us to get outside of ourselves, because it's easy to spend all of our money on ourselves and we have more that we want than we can afford for most of us, right? But there are people who are a lot less fortunate than us, who can't work or for whatever reason find themselves in really dire straits. It's important to help them, right? And it's good for us. I think we're created to be generous. So it's important that we find ways to be radically generous. And if you're on a tight budget right now, guess what? There are ways you can actually be generous that don't break the bank. You don't have to buy a hospital wing for the children's hospital in your city. You don't. You could simply give a quarter away to somebody at Aldi, the grocery store, and that's going to light somebody's face up. They're going to be happy about that. But be mindful, be intentional, be radical when it comes to generosity. Number 10, the final one we're going to talk about today is supersize your financial knowledge. It's important for us to continue to learn about new stuff. If you don't know what a mutual fund is, stick around, we'll tell you, but you can learn. You can learn what an annuity is. You can learn what HSA is, or FSA, or Bitcoin, or all kinds of stuff that you can learn. We don't have to stay financially kind of in a status quo manner. So there you go, the 10 simple financial strategies to maximize hope, minimize stress. 1, personalize your dream. 2, realize your true financial position. 3, optimize your take-home pay. 4, scrutinize your spending. 5, normalize saving. 6, downsize debt. 7, right-size risk. 8, prioritize your financial future. 9, radicalize generosity. And 10, supersize your knowledge. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I will see you soon with a new video.